We know that your thoughts are the language of your brain. Mm-hmm. And your emotions are the language of your body. Mm-hmm. So if we keep thinking about the old past, the painful traumas, all the things that we deal with,
all the setbacks,
mm-hmm. and we keep our vision and our mind focused on those traumatic events, that's going to define who we are and how we live and how we feel about the future.
Right.
Now, there is that 8-second phase or session in our life, and maybe that 8-second phase is a year. Okay, you're trying to get over some severe injuries or stabilize your health to a level in which you can function, or deal with the trauma of a divorce, or the emotional things you're dealing with grief, with a death. There is a certain 8-second period. But during that 8-second period of your life, that phase, mm-hmm. we have to start changing our mindset.
Yes.
And so my focus has always been, even on the setbacks. I've had setbacks just recently. People wouldn't even realize it. Okay, I don't even discuss it with the crew on what's going on within my world mm-hmm. every day. Mm-hmm. You get to see it. Okay, those traumas are showcased. They're real. The physical exacerbations of what I deal with pain are real. But I always do this. I go inwardly. Instead of pulling out the negative things from my past, I carry the good memories. They're like treasures in my heart. But I focus on going inwardly and how do I live out the future that I know is promised to me even in eternity. So I count on God's nature, His divinity, His perfectness, His absolute knowledge, His absolute glory that's so high above man's. We cannot comprehend it.
Right.
I count on that, as well as the promises He delivers to all mankind, not just Gordon Sully. It's to everyone who's listening.
That's so good.
He offers that.
Yep.
So I focus on, how do I move my mind towards the future, and how do I live it out in the present time? And trying to live it out in the present time during that 8-second phase is sometimes very difficult. And it's a practice. It's developing a skill to do that.
When you say you go inward, that's such an important thing to remember, because if you based it on the outward, if you tried to, quote, look into the future based on outward appearances, you would be fetal, not here today, not on a podcast. You would become hopeless, because if all of the external circumstances that are screaming in at your body, right? If those things have control over your future, you're not going to have a future.
No.
Or at least your future will be so sedentary you wouldn't want a future. And the inward parts of you that cling, and you mentioned this, that cling all the way into eternity. It doesn't stop, and this life is almost like our practice round, in the sense of, we have a future that is bright, and it will be pain-free one day. It may not be on this earth, but it will happen. We will have no pain. We will have no tears. All of the things that we suffer in this world, God, as we have said before, wastes nothing. But if you can't attach yourself to that, then you're attaching yourself to something that's so external that doesn't give you any hope. When you attach yourself to the promises of God and His hope, I see such a difference in you.
Right.
I see such a resolve. I don't see you letting all of the trauma of your pain dictate how you're even going to talk to me in the moments where your pain is spiked.
Right.
I see you go inward. Sometimes you're very, very quiet. That's okay. You're trying to catch your gravity in that moment with God.